In the tranquil plains of southern Nepal, where time seems to linger in reverence, stood the ancient city of Kapilavasthu, cradle of royalty, sanctuary of a future sage. Over 2,600 years ago, this sacred land bore witness to the birth and upbringing of Prince Siddhartha Gautama, who would later be known to the world as the Buddha. For 29 years, Kapilavasthu nurtured the prince in the grandeur of palaces, amidst noble lineages and ancient traditions of the CHÂA kingdom. Kapilavasthu is a royal city, although not large but powerful. Kapilavasthu is the land of past glory. From a bird's eye view, the ancient capital of the CHÂA kingdom, Kapilavasthu, now located in Tilorakot village. Kapilavasthu district near the Nepal-India border, appears modest in size. In the 6th century BCE, during the time of Prince Siddhartha, it was home to nearly 1 million inhabitants. And yet, this sacred land continues to draw people from around the world. They come, out of reverence, to pay homage to the one who discovered the path to inner peace and everlasting harmony for humankind, Sakyamuni Buddha. Today, the western gate of Kapilavasthu is the main entrance for visitors. Time has settled upon these red brick foundations, whispering ancient tales from 1,000 years past. Even the foliage here seems to be touched by the aura of legend. From the western ramparts, one can survey the layout of the former capital. Excavations have unearthed multiple layers of architectural remains, some sparse, some densely packed with small chambers. Modern walkways retrace the ancient thoroughfares, main roads and narrow lanes, all converging toward the royal palace, where King Siddhartha once held court.
When Emperor Ashoka came to pay homage at Kapilavasthu, he ordered the construction of a reservoir measuring 30 meters in both width and length. At the site, archaeologists discovered 26 red brick steps descending into the pond, built to ensure that those residing and practicing there could access water for their daily needs.
This was the royal residence, where the King Siddhartha and Queen Mayadevi lived, where the infant Prince Siddhartha was nurtured, and where, within these halls, sages such as Asita and Kaundinya were summoned to divine the newborn's destiny at the naming ceremony on the 7th day after his birth. It was a serene and auspicious morning. When consulted, the sage Asita prophesied that the prince would either become a great monarch or a supremely awakened sage. The old ascetic wept, for he knew his time on earth would not be long enough to witness the prince's enlightenment. Citizens of Kapilavasthu eagerly gathered to glimpse the royal heir. Yet among them, the old seer remained still and solemn. He said, "I stand here to admire this great man for the last time, or I will not have another chance." Centuries later, in the 21st century, people from every continent return here to venerate this sacred ground, to honor the one who handed humanity a key to liberation, the key to nirvana, not as a distant realm, but as a state reachable within every human heart. From a young age, Prince Siddhartha showed kindness, saving and protecting a swan that was shot down by his cousin. Diva Dat Ta.
According to researchers, this is a historic location linked to Prince Siddhartha during his time in the royal city of Kapilavastu. One day, Devadatta shot a swan, causing it to fall here. Prince Siddhartha saw it and rescued the injured bird. A small debate ensued between Siddhartha and Devadatta. Devadatta claimed ownership because he had shot the swan, but Siddhartha argued that all beings have an equal right to life. If we cannot help or protect them, we certainly should not harm them. This line of reasoning reflected Prince Siddhartha's profound compassion and loving kindness, even while still a lay person, surpassing that of ordinary people.
Throughout his youth and early manhood, Prince Siddhartha lived in splendor. He was trained in philosophy, martial arts, and all courtly knowledge. King Suddhodana built 3 palaces for him, each like a celestial abode, isolated from the world's suffering. This is considered one of the royal residences of Prince Siddhartha, located in Ganwaria, in the Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. The solid and imposing architectural foundation indicates that this was once an important palace, reflecting the noble status and high rank of the prince.
Sau khi tham quan chiêm bái 3 cung điện của Thái Tử Đức tức Đức Phật, còn rất là vô cùng ngưỡng mộ thấy Đức Phật đã dám từ bỏ tất cả để độ sinh. Chỉ có những người có suy nghĩ cao cả mới làm được những cái việc cao cả như vậy.
In time, the prince reached adulthood. The king, hoping Siddhartha would succeed the throne, arranged his marriage to Princess Yasodhara, a woman of great beauty and virtue. They had a son, Rahula. From the outside, it seemed Siddhartha's life was complete, royal, content, and fulfilled.
This is the most important site.
Đây là vị trí quan trọng nhất tại vương thành KAPILAVASTU. Vào năm 1967 đến năm 1977, các nhà khoa học khai quật ở vị trí chính giữa của vương thành phát hiện được một cái cấu trúc của dương điện mà người ta tin rằng dựa vào mô tả của vị trang là nơi mà Đức Vua Tịnh Phạn đã xây dựng để giữ chân Thái tử Bạch Ba với đời sống vàng son dương giả.
Yet within the gilded walls, his heart bore an invisible weight. With the king's reluctant permission, he ventured beyond the palace gates. On 3 successive occasions, he witnessed an elderly man, a sick person, and a corpse, each encounter piercing the illusion of worldly permanence. He realized suffering was not the exception but the law of human life. He yearned for a deeper truth, one that could liberate not just himself but all beings. When persuasion failed, he made a solemn vow. On the night of the 8th day of the 2nd lunar month, while his wife and son slept peacefully, Siddhartha renounced his royal privileges. With empty hands and a resolute heart, he departed the palace of the Sakyas to seek the path of awakening. He exited through the eastern gate of Kapilavastu, marking the sacred moment of his renunciation. At 29, Prince Siddhartha became the wandering ascetic Gautama.
This is the eastern gate of Kapilavastu. According to Mahayana Buddhist tradition, at midnight on the 8th day of the 2nd lunar month, Prince Siddhartha bade farewell to his wife and son, renouncing the throne to pursue the life of a great spiritual seeker. Because of this historic renunciation, the local people refer to this gate as the Gate of Renunciation.
Khi tôi tới thành Ca Tỳ La Vệ, nơi Đức Phật đi xuất gia, tôi cảm thấy quyết định của Ngài thật là vĩ đại. Nhờ vậy mà chúng ta có được một đạo Phật ngày nay.
Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật. Nam mô Bổn Sư Thích Ca Mâu Ni Phật.
Prince Siddhartha journeyed a considerable distance from the capital city of Kapilavastu. Upon reaching the Anoma river, he dismounted from his horse. He cut his hair, shed his royal garments, and instructed his attendant Channa to return them to his father, the king. Donning the robes of a mendicant, he set forth on foot, determined to embark on the noble quest for the truth that leads to liberation from worldly suffering. Here lies the memorial to his loyal horse, THઁNG, who carried him on that fateful night. Upon returning and realizing his master was gone, THઁNG passed away. For over 2.600 years, the local people have preserved this hallowed site with great reverence. Now, only the stone foundations remain, but the memory endures. That night, the palace wept. The departure of the prince shook the royal household, his father, wife, and subjects plunged into uncertainty. No one knew where he had gone, only that he had left to seek truth and liberate the world. His renunciation was an act of rare courage. He left not to escape, but to confront life's deepest truths. He journeyed through hardship, trial, and insight, until he discovered the middle path and attained supreme enlightenment, becoming the Buddha. News of the Buddha's awakening eventually reached the capital. 6 years later, Siddhartha, now the enlightened one, returned to Kapilavastu at the invitation of King Suddhodana. This site marks the Buddha's first return to Kapilavastu, where he taught the Dhamma to his father, his foster mother Mahapajapati Gautami, his wife Yasodhara, his half-brother Nanda, cousins Ananda and Devadatta, his son Rahula, and even Upali, the royal barber, who would become one of the earliest monks. At this very place, King Suddhodana offered the first alms in a monastery to the Buddha and his Sangha. This ancient well, located near the present temple at Kudan, once provided water for the Buddha and his disciples during their residence in the Nyagradarama Grove.
This bas relief depicts Queen Mahapajapati Gautami, the Buddha's maternal aunt and foster mother, offering a monastic robe to the Buddha. To commemorate this significant event, a stupa was erected at this site to honor the Sangha and the robe, symbolizing the enlightened liberation of genuine renunciants. At this location, King Suddhodana and Prince Rahula, unable to wait for the Buddha's arrival in Kapilavastu, just 5 kilometers from here, came to meet him. Alongside his grandfather, Rahula approached the Buddha and said, "Venerable Sir, please give me my inheritance." In response, the Buddha bestowed upon him the true inheritance of spiritual awakening and liberation, and thus Rahula was formally ordained as a novice monk, becoming one of the Buddha's renunciant disciples.
The ancient bricks of Kapilavastu remain, a living witness to time. Every stone here holds a story. When King Suddhodana lay gravely ill, The Buddha returned once more to offer teachings on anatta non-self, and guided his father in mindful meditation so that he could pass in peace.
Approximately 700 meters from the eastern gate, the Nepalese authorities constructed twin circular stupas in the 4th century CE. The smallest stupa is dedicated to the Buddha's mother, Queen Mayadevi, and the larger one, nearly twice the size, to King Suddhodana. This architectural tribute reflects the ancient Indian Buddhist community's profound reverence for the two individuals who gave life to and nurtured the Buddha. Without their parental care, Prince Siddhartha would not have come into this world. Therefore, all of us should hold great respect for the Buddha's parents.
Buddham Saranam Gacchami Dhammam Saranam Gacchami Sangham Saranam Gacchami.
7 kilometers northeast of Taulahawa lies the birthplace of Kanakamuni Buddha. In 249 BCE, Emperor Asoka the Great undertook a pilgrimage to this revered ground. Here, he erected a stone pillar, an enduring emblem of spiritual reverence and royal commitment. Inscribed upon it, in the ancient Brahmi script, is a declaration of piety. In the 14th year since his coronation, King Priyadarsan expanded 2 stupas dedicated to the Buddha Kanakamuni. In the 20th year of his reign, he personally visited this sacred place and caused this pillar to be erected.
This area is home to the Samaimai Shrine, which means mothers of various kinds. In the 8th century, Hindu ascetics built this temple within the compound of Kapilavastu. It is a popular site of prayer, especially for those seeking children. Believers vow to offer an elephant in gratitude once their prayers are fulfilled. This structure has been preserved since the 8th century and continues to be respected by Buddhists today. It represents interfaith harmony in the Kapilavastu region.
The history of the Kusana dynasty, descended from the illustrious Sakya lineage, is a chronicle of both radiant glory and profound sorrow. This sacred land gave birth to one of the greatest beings the world has ever known, a sage, a philosopher, a spiritual light for humankind. Yet the destiny of King Suddhodana's realm would be drenched in grief. Beneath the tranquil beauty of modern-day Kapilavasta lies the buried anguish of a forgotten catastrophe, the tragic extinction of the Sakya people more than 2.600 years ago.
The Sakya clan once replaced a servant woman of great beauty with a false identity as a princess to marry her to King Pasenadi of Kosala. When King Vidudaba discovered that his mother had come from a low caste and had been scorned, he developed deep resentment. Despite the Buddha's 2 warnings against harming his kin through political marriage ties, King Vidudaba committed a massacre, killing over 77,000 people. According to the Dhanga Nikaya, after setting up camp along the present-day Rapti River, a great flood arose and swept away nearly his entire army, an act of karmic retribution.
Following the destruction of the Sakya Republic by King Vidudaba of Kosala, the Buddha returned to his native city. There, amidst the ruins of his ancestral land, he chanted blessings and performed rites to console the departed souls. Yet, the atrocities could not be undone. King Vidudaba, whose hatred had long been fueled by the stigma of his mother's servile origins, embodied a primitive and unrefined cruelty, inflicting untold suffering upon his kin. At that time, the Buddha's noble vision of spiritual development, moral discipline, and universal compassion had not yet reached the hearts of the masses.
This is the stupa enshrining the actual relics of the Buddha, located in Siddhartha district. The credit for its excavation goes to British engineer William Claxton Pebble. The site was excavated and publicly announced in January 1898, becoming a source of major scholarly attention in the late 19th century. The relics were stored in two stone reliquaries, one smaller, about 4 inches tall, and one larger, about 7 inches tall. Inscriptions on the exterior of it clearly state that they contain relics of Sakyamuni Buddha and a collection of approximately 1,800 precious and semi-precious stones, pearls, and gold ornaments. These relics are now preserved at the National Museum in New Delhi.
Today, however, the Buddha's message of peace, human dignity, and spiritual progress continues to spread across continents. In a world torn by turmoil, it radiates with redemptive power. Across the globe, the Vesic celebrations, commemorating the Buddha's birth, enlightenment, and parinirvana, have become milestones for spiritual unity. On those international platforms, the voice of Vietnamese Buddhism resounds as a call for peace, echoing the collective yearning of humanity for a world free from hatred and war. History has witnessed the rise and fall of empires, the devastation of countless wars, and the endless quest for peace. And yet, over 26 centuries ago, the Buddha Sakyamuni pointed the way to liberation, a path not of conquest, but of understanding and awakening. Today, more and more nations, cultures, and people recognize the profound humanism and wisdom at the heart of Buddhist teaching. This insight offers a foundation, firm, timeless, and compassionate, upon which new paths to peace may be built. May the sorrows once endured in ancient Kapilavasta never return. May war never again darken this earth. And may peace, now resting gently over the land of the Buddha's youth, continue to shine as a light for all the world.